Billy, well done. A very dominant performance, but as you stood there just before we came to you, you cut a very frustrated figure. Is that how you feel tonight?
Yeah, I think, listen, I've been out over a year now. It's like boxing in the cemetery. Listen, it's one of them. I like to perform for the crowd, get up for it. You know, I've got many people to thank, obviously Eddie and MTK, Matchroom. But tonight I tried to set a rhythm, but he's a kind of old fox, and he just knew how to tie you up well. He was tying you up. And listen, it's not a performance I'm going to be shouting for people's names about, because, like I say, I've been out a year. I probably needed the rounds, to be honest with you, going into the new year, but he's a kind of old fox. He got through it, and fair play to him. I hope he has a good Christmas, and he can go back to his family. But the main thing is I'm 30-0. I guess I'm still getting luckier every fight I get, so let's see if I can make a big fight, get up for it, and put a performance in, put a shift in. He's
a real tough man. Did you feel that you had him hurt? I think it was in the fourth with the knockdown that wasn't called.
When I come down, it was a clear knockdown. Listen, the referee, I'm out of moan at him, but you know, there's been previous fights now where there's been fights close he's give it against, and if that was called a knockdown, I would have adjusted a bit differently, and maybe might have got the finish if there was 30 or 40 seconds left. But I knew Martin was hurt. He didn't give him 10 seconds, and I just wanted to recover to let that burst go again. But he let him time me up. Listen, it's fair play to Martin. I'm not taking anything away, but it was definitely a knockdown, and maybe that could have changed a complete fight if called a knockdown, which it was. If you watched the replay.
Moving things forward now, we're obviously going to hear Eddie Hearn's plans for you, but this is your platform to sort of send out a message. What do you want to do in 2021?
Listen, it's very important now for me to stay in the gym, I think, because I'm not getting any younger. Just turned 31. I feel like I'm in the prime. Like tonight, it was strange because the stamina was there, but then it was just a little bit of timing off. But listen, it's a bit of ring rust, and to be honest, everybody knows I need a rhythm for my boxing skills to come. And you can spar and look $1 million, but when you're underneath them likes of these little gloves, as you've seen there, I bullied him at times as well. I felt strong, but there was just a little bit of rhythm lacking, and I think that's a bit of ring rust. But hopefully, listen, let's get the big names out there. Obviously, Canelo and Smith's fighting. There's Andrade out there, and there's the man to ask, because I need a big fight to get up for it, to know, like, listen, here we go. Not sitting in the dressing room singing and dancing and waiting around to go on one of mine, you know?
Eddie, without sitting on the fence, boxing politics, it's a difficult world to navigate at times, but can you give us your plans for Billy Joe Saunders? What do you want to do? Who do you want him to fight?
Well, firstly, I thought it was a bit critical, overcritical. I think, you know, being out of the ring for a year, he is right, he is a rhythm fighter. I thought it was a great performance. Big credit to Martin Murray, tough as old boots. The fact is, we were one day away from the press conference for Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders. He flew out, the deal was done, the pandemic hit, and the fight got cancelled, and that was a massive blow. And to be honest with you, you know, he'd done well to even get in the ring this year. He lost his way a little bit, you know, he ate too much. And his discipline went. He's got back in the ring. Now it is important that the momentum continues. He's got to be a pro now. He's got to train over Christmas. He's got to keep his weight down. He's got to be ready. Because when a fighter is as good as Billy Joe Saunders, when they're in their prime like this, we can't waste the opportunity to find out how good he really is. And we're not yet seeing it because he's not mixing with the elite of the elite. Golovkin, Canelo, Callum Smith, Demetrius Andrade. You know, all these fights, it must be one of them next, because otherwise we're wasting our time. He's wasting his career. Now, people talk about Billy Joe Saunders as potentially one of the top pound-for-pound, if not the pound-for-pound fighter in Britain. But we can never call him that unless he's mixing with that level of opposition. So we will do everything we can. He will fight anyone. And I think people will look at Billy Joe Saunders and they will want to take the challenge. I know Canelo wants to fight him. I know Callum Smith wants to fight him if he can beat Canelo in December as well. Gennady Golovkin, Demetrius Andrade.
They all want to fight me, but not one of them signed no contract. So they want to fight me that much. Get your pens out and get it signed. You see me there tonight. Listen, this fight is dedicated to my uncle Tom Beanie. Who passed away sadly while I was in training camp as well. So this is for him. But listen, any super middleweight out there, let's get it on. People can criticise me all they want. The main thing is I'm here to fight. Whenever you want to ring me, and I'll be ready for New Year. But it has to be a big fight. Big names come out and have a fight. And if I get knocked out and get beat, you're a better man. But it'd be completely different on the night.
But what's the reason that these fights aren't
Well,
happening?
I'm ready to rock and roll, so ask the man here.
The Canelo fight fell through, like I said, because of the pandemic. That fight was all agreed. It was done. And the Demetrius Andrade fight fell away, and now nothing was available this year. That's why we thought Martin Murray put in a great performance. But the pressure's on. You know, the pressure's on us, the pressure's on Billy, the pressure's on Sky, whoever it is, to make sure that he goes into a massive fight. Because otherwise, like I said, we're going to look back on the career of Billy Joe Saunders and say, what could have been? And we're not prepared to do that. And he's not prepared to do that, and he shouldn't, because we've got to find out how good he is. He will rise to the levels, he will be up for those big fights. So let's find out how good he is in 2021. We will deliver them. He must stay ready and stay fit and active for the call for early in 2021. And we've got to get it done.
Yeah, the pressure's on Eddie to deliver what he just said there, but do you share that responsibility that you have to be ready for when that call comes?
Listen, most of all, the main thing is, listen, I'm game to get in there and fight. So if he gives me a ring, he knows I've took these big fights before. You know, there's not been a fight where I've gone back and said, you know what, that's no good, no, take it away. Like, so let's make these big fights happen, give the fans what they want. Let's give the general public some good fights, what they want, but they've got to be, you know, big fights, world title fights, unification fights.
And who's your number one, if you don't mind me butting in?
Everyone wants Canelo, don't they? So listen, hopefully, I hope Smith beats him. You know, he beat George Groves, but we'll know George Groves was finished and washed up. So you know, that's the only really name he's beat. So we'll see if he makes a comeback this year and see if he beats Canelo. But fair play to him for getting the fight. I wish him all the best, and I hope as a fellow Brit he does it. But you know, if not, then that's the fight in the new year I want. And on that performance there, you should take it, Canelo. Let's rock and roll.